video was made possible by EA Game Changers. Hello guys, I'm Aveline and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. I am, because today I get to share with you guys what I've been doing with Tiny Living. So Tiny Living stuff pack, I got access to it a couple days ago and embargo lifted today. So that is basically what we're doing today. We're building this tiny house right here with the new pack, and I kind of wanted to build something a little bit different compared to the last couple of tiny houses that I've done, so I wanted to focus a little bit more on landscaping for this one. That said, I did use as much of the new furniture as possible, and I freaking love it. Like, it's totally my style. Also because, okay, so if you didn't watch the stream, when was that? Friday, I think? Both Ninja and Sim Guru Ninja and some guy who wasn't a Sim Guru but who was on stream, his name was Connor. He worked on the pack too, but they were talking about the inspiration behind the pack. So they're taking a lot of inspiration behind this thing we have in Denmark and Norway. And in Denmark we call it hygge, which is basically like, I don't really know how to explain it. It depends a little bit on person to person. So for me, hygge would be just sitting here playing Minecraft with my friends, for example, or I don't know, sitting on the couch with a cup of hot chocolate and playing the Switch. It's basically just like, it's a feeling, but it's also something you can do. It's a little bit difficult to explain what it is, but it's just, I don't know, it's feeling comfy and content and happy and relaxed. I don't really know. So yeah, that's what they've taken inspiration from. And also the furniture in this pack is mid-century modern. So if you guys don't know much about Scandinavian design or interior design, a lot of it is very mid-century modern. So I love this pack. It's right up my alley. It reminds me of home, and I also love the fact that they've actually taken inspiration from Scandinavia for a change, because they haven't really done that much here during Sims 4 as far as I'm aware. I think there was one free update that was slightly inspired by it, but they didn't actually say it was. It just kind of, some of the items reminded me of stuff that we'd see around like Danish homes when it's Christmas time, for example. So, but other than that, I haven't really seen a lot. So it was really nice. And actually a lot of these items in the pack, because you guys know that I moved here a couple of months ago, so in September, and since then I've been looking for stuff and furniture for my apartment, decorations too, because I don't really have a lot. I threw a lot of the stuff out when I moved to Scotland, so when I came home, I didn't really have any furniture or anything, so I had to start from scratch. So I've been looking at a lot, and a lot of the stuff in this pack actually looks like some of the stuff that I've looked at, which I find really funny. So for example, there is a shelving unit. It's you hang it on the wall basically, but I want one like that to either be in my bathroom or in my kitchen. So like stuff like that. There is also, oh, the TV unit that I'm using here. My aunt has one that looks exactly like it. It's just her TV is a little bit bigger, but still. So it's like, there are certain items that really look like items that I've seen in Danish interior stores, and I think that's really funny to me. Like, I can sort of relate it to real life somewhat, so that's always something. But yeah, overall really happy with this pack. I love the stuff in it. I do want to say that of course it was possible to build tiny houses before, like that's not something new that's added to the game whatsoever. As you guys know, I've built a lot of tiny houses here on the channel, like a lot. So it's not something new. We do have guidelines to follow now, so there is a difference between micro homes, tiny homes, and also small homes. I think the tiny homes have to be, is it under 32 tiles? So we're building a tiny home today, or did I say the tiny home or micro home? Micro homes have to be under 32 tiles, tiny homes are under 64, and then small homes are under 100 tiles, and you get certain benefits from following the different tiers. So today we're just building a tiny home. I do kind of want to try a micro home. I did consider turning this one into a micro home, but because it is a floating house, I had to have a patio, and that took up a lot of, I think it's like it's 18 tiles on its own. So you see it's a little bit difficult to turn this house into a micro home, but it's something I want to do. So when I go back and build on ground, I definitely want to try to do something like that. I also love these plants that are hanging here. I don't really know how to make that, but I want one for my home because they're so cute. Also, I love the rug. I think I freaked out a little bit about that during the trailer reaction video, but I just really love the pattern on it. I've been looking at one that looks somewhat like it for my living room, but I don't know. It's a little bit like one of the patterns on one of the city living rugs as well. There is another one, I don't really remember. Is it from Cats and Dogs or something? So it's a little bit like that. Oh, there's also one from Laundry Day that actually reminds me a bit of it, but I love this rug. The swatches are really pretty too. So as you can see right here, so I do want to mention something. I sized down the lamps, so I don't really know. There's supposed to be a slot on the little circle underneath the lamp, but since I sized it down, I don't know if it just couldn't find the slot or what it was. I'm completely fine with that if the slot disappears when it sizes down, because otherwise, if you place something, like if you place a plant on a table that you've sized down, the plant will actually be levitating above the table, so I'm completely fine with that. I also want to point out that the poof is actually not a chair, it's a table, but personally, I'm fine with that. I don't need more poof chairs, I just love this poof, so I don't need my Sims to sit on it. It's completely fine. It's so cute. I want one. It's adorable. It's knitted, and it looks so soft and comfy, and it's just cute. So yes, and also the pictures are beautiful. I do want to point out that obviously, since I'm building a tiny house, I am not using every single piece from the new pack. There is a couple of other pieces that I have not used. There is like 3 Murphy beds more other than this one, and I think there's also a couch, a couple of chairs, and another dresser and stuff, so we're not using everything today. I could not manage to fit in everything into the small home or into this tiny home. So just want to point that out. If you're slightly disappointed by the amount of items in this house, it's because it's a tiny house and I have not been able to fit everything into this house. So I think I want to try to, because there's also a single bed actually, I think I want to try to build the micro home and then use the other items for that one. It's just when you're building tiny houses, you kind of have to prioritize, do you want a living room or do you want a proper dining area? So for this one, I decided to go for, actually, since I have a Murphy bed, not a Murdy bed, a Murphy bed, I could manage to fit in both, but there is another Murphy bed or 2 maybe that don't have that couch in front of it, or maybe the other 3 actually don't. I don't really remember, but there is at least one other Murphy bed that doesn't have the couch in front of it. So I do want to build something else where I'm using the other items basically, because, you know, there's more stuff in this pack than what you see in this build. I also completely forgot that the pack actually comes with a new sink and also a new toilet. So I'd already placed, I think, a toilet from base game and a sink from Spa Day, but then when I went back to the bathroom, I saw somehow, I don't know how I saw that, but there was a new toilet, like a completely new toilet. It's not that we need more toilets in the game, but I do appreciate the sink. The sink is really cute and very pretty. It has a couple of nice swatches and stuff, or a couple. It has like 12 swatches or something. So I do appreciate that. I don't think we need new toilets, but the sink is very much appreciated. There is a little bit of like, I don't know what's going on with the mirror. It's placed very high on the wall and I don't really know why. Like some of the mirrors in the game are just like the Seasons mirror is placed really high on the wall, but then you got the Get Famous one, which is a lot lower. So I don't really know what's going on with that, but this mirror is definitely placed very high up on the wall. I don't know if that's making sense in English, but I'm doing my best here, so. But other than that, I do love the pieces in the pack. I think they go really well with both the mid-century modern side of Get Famous and also building stuff packs. So super excited about that. Love myself some mid-century modern interior. Not so happy about mid-century modern exteriors. As you guys may know, I'm not really, that's not really me, but the interior is like, yes. It reminds me of my own home. It reminds me of Scandinavia, Scandinavian interior, and I am Scandinavian, so I love that sort of interior. Or it's not a given, like you can be Scandinavian and not love mid-century modern interior, but I do, personally I do. So yes, I'm really happy about the new stuff. Do they help you make tiny homes? I don't really know. I think the Murphy bed in this case does because it is a double bed. Plus, when you don't have the bed put down, it can be used as a couch. So that does help. But then you have, the sink is actually smaller than a regular sink, so I suppose that one would help too, just not in this case because of the shape of the bathroom that I made. But I suppose if you have like a 2x2 bathroom or something, it would make it just a little bit easier to place more furniture in the bathroom. So you could either place, or possibly place like a cabinet next to it or a toilet or something. I think I've done a couple of 2x2 bathrooms in the past, even a 3.5 tile bathroom or something. So I think I've actually also made a 3-tile bathroom. But anyways, so that should make it a little bit easier perhaps. But other than that, we also have the dressers. The dressers are a little bit smaller than the regular dressers in the game, so we do have another one that's a 1-tile dresser. I think it's from Discovery University, so we kind of already have that, but the 1-tile dresser here from Tiny Living is a little bit more narrow as far as I could see at least. And then I appreciate the fact that they included a bar table with bar stools instead of a dining table, because it actually looks really nice in this kind of home, because the bar stools are a little bit smaller compared to the dining chairs too, or at least compared to a lot of the dining chairs. So that takes up a little bit less space too, and it just, I don't know, it looks nice. So I appreciate that too. Also, by the way, if you're wondering what's going on over here, I wanted to make this little seating area outside the front door to the house. So I took the Spa Day ottomans. I think these wall plants are also from Spa Day, but I could be wrong about that. And then I sort of combined them. So it looks like they got ottomans right outside, or like a bench right outside their front door. And they placed a couple of plants on them. I also put some magazines there and a couple of the succulents from Discovery University as well. And I think that's about that for interior and stuff actually. So for the rest of the video, we're just doing landscaping. I really wanted to make the landscaping around this build pretty because I've done floating houses. Ooh, how many times have I done floating houses? I don't actually know. I think at least twice. And it's mainly been like, okay, here's the lake, let's put a house on it. So for this one, I wanted to make a smaller lake, and then I wanted to make sort of like a hill in the background with a couple of cliffs and stuff, and a lot of trees too. So I really wanted to just focus a little bit more on the landscaping compared to what I usually do. We're also building a tiny house on a 64x64 today, in case you were wondering. Yes, I started out building a tiny house on a 64x64. What's going on with that? I don't really know, but I just needed more space for the landscaping basically, so I hope that's understandable. I know it sucks a little bit to have a 64x64 and you can only have 2 Sims sleeping on it or living on it, but I needed more space for the landscaping. So I think I'll be doing something like that for the tiny houses during this week. I am planning on doing tiny houses during this entire week, so when I say this week, I mean from now until next Sunday at least. And then I'll also be doing, at some point actually, I need to do the tour of the Shell Challenge so we can start a new one now that console players also have the gallery. So I'll be planning something with that. We'll possibly do like a tiny house shell or something. I think that could be sort of fun. So it's just that with tiny houses, the house shells tend to be very simple when it comes to the shape. So I don't really know. I'm still thinking about it. We may do it, we may not. I may do something like a 30x20 or possibly, no, a 30x20 would probably be best. So, because I think the past 2 have been pretty big. So, but anyways, I need to do the tour video of that. But other than that, we're just doing tiny houses this week. So I am super excited about that. I love tiny houses. You guys know this. I built a lot of them here on the channel, so I'm excited to do another tiny house week. The past one, or the last one that I did, was in June, so it's a while ago, but I figured since we have a new Tiny Living stuff pack, it would sort of make sense. It's a good excuse to just build tiny houses the entire week. This also means that there'll be a couple more videos, because usually when I do like 30x20 houses, actually 30x20 houses are fine, but like 40x30 or bigger than that, I don't have the time to release more than maybe 3-4 videos a week because those videos take so long to do. They not only take a long time to record, because when I say I record for 6 hours, Or when I say that I had 6 hours of footage, I may have been recording for like 12 or something, because it takes a lot of planning and stuff. Like, I don't sit here and just record in one go. I take pauses so I can plan out stuff. Where do I want the living room? What do I want the color scheme to look like? Do I like how this picture looks on the wall? For example, so it takes a long time for me to build 40 by 30s, and especially like 40 by 30s and bigger. So, and then also editing also takes a long time. So I just don't have the time to do more than like 3 videos a week when I build houses that big. But when it comes to tiny houses, it's a lot less to decorate, and obviously with this one we are going a little bit crazy with the landscaping, or I don't want to say crazy, but I'm focusing a little bit more on the landscaping compared to what I usually do at least. So it just, yeah, because the houses are smaller, there's less to, think about, and also it takes shorter time, or it takes less time to record the house and also to edit because I have less footage, obviously. So I may be able to do like all week, which would be pretty freaking awesome because I want to do that. Also with the new pack, I love this stuff, like I said already, I want to use it. So hopefully that's understandable, but we'll see how it goes. I also have a lot of ideas, both from you guys, but also stuff that I've come up with myself. But if you have more ideas for tiny houses you want me to do, let me know in the comment section. I also have a community tab post up, so if you want to head on over there and leave your comment, you can do that too. I think about 150 of you already left comments or suggestions for tiny houses I could do, so I still need to like decide which ones of them I want to do this week, but there's quite a lot to go through, so I'm super excited about that. But if you got more suggestions, please let me know and I'll have a look at it too. And yeah, other than that, I think we're about done. I'm just doing a little bit of landscaping still, some terrain paint of course, because I want to make it look a little bit more realistic, so put some dirt here and there. But other than that, yeah, we're about done. So if you guys like this house, you can't download it off the gallery just yet. I'll release it on, when is that? On Tuesday, I think, when the pack is actually out. So when some of you have gotten the pack, so you can actually play in the house, because it would be pretty empty if you downloaded it as it is right now. So just keep that in mind. It'll be out on Tuesday. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
But I've been wondering if everything's alright. You say you love me, and that's all fine. But it's like I'm missing the passion in your eyes. Am I right?